JJ the CPA here. I wanted to give an update on the EIDL. So that's the Economic Injury Disaster Loan, also known as the COVID-19 Disaster Loan. So this is only obtained from the SBA at SBA.gov through their streamlined process. This was the $10,000 grant, otherwise known as a amount of money that you're given as a small business owner as a shot in the arm. As of yesterday, the 6th of April, it started to be learned that SBA was giving out $1,000 per employee, $10,000 max. Well, where did this come from? There's been very little on it. There's been only a couple of articles written about it. So I dug, and what I found was here it came from, which was from the Massachusetts district office of the SBA. And what it indicated in this bulletin, and I'll put a link in here, down here, which is the EIDL loan advances will be distributed this week, $1,000 per employee, up to $10,000 max. There are some other different kinds of SBA loans that you're able to get. If I go to SBA.gov, okay, this is where you would, up here at the top, so this is where you would go and apply for that. So I've been on this site each day here for a while, and I'm not seeing anything new. I have refreshed. I don't see anything new. So when you click on that, it says click here to learn more about the available SBA loan and debt relief options. So when you come down here, it talks about the PPP, but this is that $10,000 advance on the EIDL loan advance, which in essence is an advance on an SBA loan if you so choose to get an amount above $10,000. So on here, nothing is new, nothing has changed. The overview, okay, the eligibility has remained the same. Okay, programs for any small business with less than 500 employees. Talks about the size. Click here to do the loan advance. I have a client that did this today. There was nothing new, it sounded like, as it relates to what it is inquiring of. So, you list down what kind of business you are, and then you indicate that you don't have any issues here, and you hit continue. There is a question that it does ask how many employees you have. So it's not whether it's full-time or part-time, so write down how many employees you have or typically have. It's going to ask for your gross sales and then your cost of goods sold. So cost of goods sold is typically your direct labor and direct cost to what it is that you're selling. So if you are looking to do the EIDL, but you qualify for the PPP, which is the Paycheck Protection Program, typically that PPP will yield more support and relief, more money. It is specifically for payroll. If you are going to get both, you need to ensure that you are exhausting the amount that you've received for the first thing before you go to the second thing. Typically, you would get a PPP when 8 weeks has passed and you've exhausted the resources. Then you're able to get an EIDL if you still are in the same economic disaster circumstances. And then if you're self-employed, then once you've exhausted those, because the self-employed can qualify for both things as well, then you can be looking at the federal unemployment, which I'll put a link to that. But really at the end of the day, I have heard over the last couple of weeks, no one has, that I know, or have anybody commented. All I've heard is people are waiting and no response and no hint, and that the money was supposed to be here fairly quickly, and it has still yet to arrive. And that all seems to have been taking place ever since the CARES Act was put into play. So what was new is what Massachusetts Bureau put out. Again, this was Massachusetts. So nothing has been released at the federal level, but in the Massachusetts level, it said EIDL loan advances will start being distributed this week, $1,000 per employee. But what you have to remember is that the SBA is a U.S., so this isn't per state. This is just the district office of Massachusetts that has shared this information to the public. So at the end of the day, if you are going to determine which one, the PPP is going to most likely yield the most. If you're wages and or payroll costs are $48,000 or less, assuming you can get $10,000 with the EIDL, it would make sense to get the EIDL. Or you can get the PPP, get what dollars you can. When you exhaust that, then you can get the EIDL, but it has to be one at a time. That's what the Massachusetts website or bulletin is indicating as well. So at the end of the day, you need to do one program at a time. This is the latest on the EIDL as it relates to this information where people are inquiring or hearing about the $1,000 per employee. This is the source of it. The SBA itself at the U.S. level has yet to state anything related to this. I'm assuming that a state bulletin is not going to be a rogue bulletin. I did hear of not a client, but somebody that got an EIDL and it was $3,200, which normally we would be expecting it's $10,000. So we haven't had any determination on how they are going to calculate what that amount is. If you have 10 employees or more, then it sounds as though, according to this, that you would get the $10,000. All right, hey, I'd love it if you subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'll be going live each day this week, the week of the 6th, April 6th. I'll be going live each day at 4 p.m. Central Standard Time to go through your questions. So anyways, best of luck to you in getting this all determined. Visit with your professionals, and at the end of the day, seek advice. It's not a handout. Okay, we're all in this together. It's a way to support our efforts and keep us afloat so that we are able to recover from this, if possible, with as little repercussions in the long term. All right, JJ the CPA out.